can't sing. No, seriously, really, I can't sing. Not well, not accurately, not with gusto or elan. To say that I'm tone deaf would be medically inaccurate, because I can, just about, pick out a tune on a keyboard, if only by trial. Yes. And error. You see, I know when the melody departs from the path intended by the composer. So I can't be tone deaf. But I cannot do the same with my voice. Not accurately, not reliably. And so, I'm afraid, I will not be singing for you tonight. Oh. It's not panto, it's the wrong time. No, I will not be singing for you. No, don't worry, you're not in the wrong theatre. No, Bill is correct, this is the Tete-a-Tete Opera Festival. But they let me, a spoken word artist and performance poet, in to do a short spoken word overture, if you will, a statement of intent. And so if you have 12 or so minutes, 12, 13 minutes, and you don't mind a little bit of spoken word, I could attempt to explain to you my predicament. Shall we?
Yeah.
No,
Thank you. Why not? Well, look, I will explain. Let's do the biography part first. You see, theatre has always beguiled me. And I use theatre in the broadest possible term, regarding anything where there is a performer and audience relationship. When I was little, I dreamed about being a ballerina. But I couldn't dance a step. I also thought how wonderful and grand it would be to be an opera singer, but my singing was worse than my dancing. I then thought, I shall become an actor stroke actress. And that path turned out to be relatively navigable. You see, I realised that I had a facility for speaking in public and I wasn't afraid of audiences. I could do that. So I became a performer, an actor and sometimes an actress, because as you probably noticed, I am gender fluid. Sometimes
existing as male. You laugh. Interesting reaction, that. Everyone always laughs at that moment. And I'm not picking on anyone because I'm playing it for laughs. I want to laugh. I want a reaction.
But it's true, people do. So that made me think about voice coding, the coding that we put into voice. We code in many different ways. We code visually. Do I fit in? Do I not fit in? We code orally. And one of the ways we code is we code by pitch in voice. We do it subconsciously all the time. We'll hold that thought. We're going to come back to that in a moment. So anyway, I decided to become an actor or actress. And that worked quite well. But I was never a singer. I could never manage that. Now the problem I had when I was at school, my primary school and then my secondary school, they didn't teach drama. There was no drama class. There was no school play. So consequently, the one performance skill that I actually had some innate ability in, I wasn't allowed to use. So, out of sheer bloody-mindedness, I decided, when I got to GCSE, that I would choose music as an option. Something for which I had absolutely no talent whatsoever. I had to start with music theory, and then I started to learn very basic piano. And even for an amateur like me, as long as I hit all the right notes, and occasionally in the right order, something vaguely resembling music will appear. But unfortunately, I couldn't scoot by in GCSE by just doing a bit of piano, murdering a bit of Beethoven, and looking at music theory, which I found very easy because to me it was maths, and maths was something I was good at. No, I had to learn to sing. I had to join the choir, and that's where it all went horribly wrong. You see, the problem is I can't hear the notes. Also, gender was a bit confusing there, because back then, I was a boy
whose voice had broken. So back in North Essex, from where I come, I had to join the choir, and I had to sing bass. Yes. We tried this earlier to see if I could get the notes. I don't know if I have. Maybe. Thus, I was stuck as a bass, wishing I could cross the floor, bursting to just take my place, role of a girl I'd adore. Tenors sing notes in my range, counterpoints far too complex, harmony lines I find strange, tight to the tune they will vex, children with ears cast of tin, wishing I could sing the tune, that's always left to the girls. Lessons can't finish too soon. Oh, how I'd love to turn coats. Why did mine have to drop? But they did, and it didn't matter because ultimately it wasn't about gender. I still couldn't pitch down in that bass or tenor register. But then, my world was trapped. I was trapped in the choir and I couldn't sing a note. But somewhere else I saw, across the oceans, another world, a world which seemed quite enticing. It was the world of opera, where gender seemed remarkably bendy at times, because I found very stratified. That was my impression of classical music. Soprano, contralto, tenor, bass, your place in the system defined by the limits of your vocal physiology. But opera, oh, here we could see women playing men or boys. Cherubino in The Marriage of Figaro was the first I was aware of. So here you have a woman who's playing a boy who's then, in the course of the narrative, dressed up as a girl. It's a Shakespeare comedy in photo negative. So, I thought, this is interesting, gender's a little bit more bendy there. Maybe I could do something in the world of opera, but I still couldn't sing. Also, then again, you have another gender confusion, because you have the men who can, countertenors, is it? Yes, who can sing up into that register, which is basically the equivalent of contralto. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's somewhere up there. Now, those voices we would code in many ways with our modern ears as a feminine register, because we do. I'm now lightening my voice, I'm trying to go higher because that's how we code a lot of the time. But I found that was interesting as well. But, notably, I found that, of course, a lot of those men, I'm not going to get too close. Look, we've got marks, I'm not allowed to go closer. Look, there, so in, I can't get closer. So, we code by gender, and obviously you have the skirt roll as well. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes in opera you have people who are genetically males singing characters which are female. But often they tend to be mad old washerwomen, I've noticed, or witches, or just screeching crones in general. I've come to the conclusion that Terry Jones would have been great in the world of opera in the skirt roll. He's not Don Giovanni! He's a very naughty boy! We're not allowed to be glamorous, it would seem. Maybe there are examples I haven't encountered yet because I'm only just learning about opera. But it would be nice to think it was possible to have your story, and it can be serious as well as just comedic. So this is a stake in the ground today. This is a statement of intent. I'm going to try and do something I've never done successfully over the next year. I'm going to try and learn to sing. I can't complain about my tutors. They were good people. They were excellent. But I just couldn't pick it up. So I'll leave you on a thought, using a medium with which I am more familiar. A poet knows the cliché, that the play's the thing. But opera still requires a bard to always sing at pitch.
pitch, and that's the vocal glitch this fool must face if next year in this festival she earns her place. I'm striving not to wallow, mope, or simply whine, but now I've reached the tender age of 49. I yearn to earn the voice which helps me redefine the roles that I may play so I can make them mine. But there's a truth from my youth which I've summarised. My childhood music demons must be exorcised. Could audiences accept me singing in a frock? Amidst the gender flexibility of mid-baroque. But there's a block in my head which will not sing. Instead it beats out a very unpleasant thing. Outsider in opera, outsider in gender. Crush dreams in a box and return them to sender. Give up before trying, embarrassments less. A cuckoo in music, a man in a dress. Each time you try singing and each time you fail, you're sharp or you're flat. It's the pitch you can't nail. Next year you are 50. It's too late to start retraining and straining and torturing art. No! I refute it. There's reason to try. I'm not just a joke. And I'm more than a guy. And so I have a contract to be witnessed in a most unusual way with your assistance. I here cast down the gauntlets, not to you, but to myself. To give myself a year to retrain a leaden ear, which dampens, hampers, keeps my song unsung. And make a conscious choice to find an operatic voice. Would dramatic contralto really be too much to ask? If this work I don't shirk, might you believe that this girl could unfurl recitative, or might I collapse in the staria, but more technical requirements of an aria? So brace yourselves, critics, I'm spreading my wings, I'm flying, I'm crying, I'm trying new things. Come tutors, come theorists, we might need composing. I'm no Queen of Night, that would need transposing. I'll aim for contralto, which could still spell witches, but some of those ladies are glamorous bitches as long as I don't just get stuck in the britches. So, buff up the brass section, retune the strings. The score isn't settled till the trans lady sings.